3.14159. This is pi, followed by 2653589. Circumference over diameter 79, then 323. OMG, can't you see? 8462643, and now we're on a spree. 38 and 32, now we're blue. Oh, who knew? 7,950, and then a 2. 88 and 41, so much fun. Now we're on 97169399371.
All right. Well, welcome. Today is Pi Day. So March 14th is labeled as Pi Day. I wonder if you ever wondered why that is. Well, because 314, March is the third month of the year, and we know that famous number pi, right? And students will say, if I say, what's pi? They'll go, oh, 3.14. Pi is really more than 3.14, but that's why it's on 314, because of thinking of 3.14. Well, Pi Day was started in March 14th of 1988, so really not that long ago. A physicist named Larry Shaw in San Francisco decided to do this at his he had some kind of exploratorium, and he set up booths to help students learn about the number pi. And he thought it would be great to do it on 314 because of 3.14. And then in 2009, Congress designated Pi Day as a nationwide celebratory day. Well, let's think about what pi really is. Pi is involved whenever a circle is involved. So a lot of you may know these two famous equations. Area equals pi r squared. That's how you find the area of a circle. You take pi times radius squared. And to find the circumference of a circle, you take pi times diameter. Students know that, and then if I say, well, what's pi? They say 3.14. Well, let's really think about what pi really is. So if we take this second equation and we manipulate the equation and we solve for pi, so we divide both sides by d, we get pi equals c divided by d. That means pi is the circumference divided by the diameter. Now, nobody just one day said, oh, let's just make up this number pi and make them work in the formulas. What they did is they took several objects that are round. For instance, here's a Pringles can. And if you take a string and you wrap it around the Pringles can, what are you finding? You're finding circumference. So then if I measure that string, and I'm going to measure in centimeters because it's easier to measure in centimeters, it's about 23.6. Okay, 23.6 centimeters long. Then I take the diameter. Remember, the diameter goes across the center of the circle from one edge to the other edge. And I measure that, and I put it on here for centimeters. It's about 7.5 centimeters long. Well, if I take those two numbers, 23.6 divided by 7.5, I get 3.14, so on and so forth. This is an estimate because there's a little human error involved with measuring. Now, if you do that for multiple objects and keep doing that every time you take that circumference and then you divide by the diameter, no matter what circular object you have, you're always going to get the same number. What number are you going to get? Approximately 3.1415927, pi. And we can keep carrying it out to multiple digits. Pi never ends because it's an irrational number. So I hope you learned a little bit about Pi Day today.
This is Mr. Warrington with your Pi Day facts. Pi is a number that's irrational. That means it never ends. Actually been calculated out to 202 trillion digits, which can you imagine how many numbers that is. The name pi comes from the Greek letter pi, and it is the ratio. I had to look this up because I remember this, but I had to look this up. It's the ratio of the diameter of a circle compared to its circumference. So it's always 3.14, no matter if the circle's this big or a mile wide. It's three diameters, 3.14, 159, and how many other digits as you go around the circumference. So.
Hi, this is Miss Collins with your History of Pi Day fact. Obviously, Pi Day 3.14. They picked the third month and the 14th day, 3.14, and it's supposed to celebrate the irrational. So I guess don't be irrational that day, but it's supposed to celebrate the irrational and to try to make math more fun. It was actually started, Pi Day, in 1988 by a physicist named Larry Shaw in San Francisco to try to make math more fun and relatable. So that's your history of Pi Day. So enjoy March 14th and eat some pie that day.
This is Mr. Warrington with your astronomy fact of the week. I mentioned the lunar eclipse this week. Tonight is the lunar eclipse, so you got to get up early or stay up late, but you don't have school tomorrow, so you should go out and look for this lunar eclipse, which is something you could see fairly regularly, but I don't think we've seen one in Ohio for a couple years. So we start with a full moon, always have a full moon during a lunar eclipse. Last April, we had to have a new moon to have a solar eclipse. So a partial lunar eclipse starts with the shadow of the Earth, just kind of cutting off the moon. And then we get more and more coverage, and finally a total eclipse that's sometimes called a blood moon. Remember, tomorrow is Pi Day 314, and Albert Einstein was also born on Pi Day 314. Thank you.
Hello, Shawnee. This is Reagan.
And Trinity, and today is Thursday, March 13th, and we welcome you to your Brave Time announcements.
Today in history, in 1781, English astronomer William Herschel observed the seventh planet from the sun, Uranus.
In 1759, the 27th record perihelion passage of Halley's Comet.
In honor of St. Patrick's Day being this Monday,
The first St. Patrick's Day parade was held in America, not Ireland.
also Chicago dyes the Chicago River green every year as a part of St. Patrick's Day celebration.
Also, people wear green on St. Patrick's Day because of the shamrock's popularity in Ireland's landscape.
In birthday wishes, we celebrate
Faith Chuck,
Dean Burrows,
Michaela Sutherland,
Amari Barron,
Mercedes Grant,
Ellen Hill.
and Carson Swartzlander.
Happy birthday to you all. In famous birthdays, we celebrate Jack Harlow,
Tristan Thompson,
Coco Gauff,
and William H. Macy. In fun and wacky holidays, today is National Open and Umbrella Indoors Day. An eye for each duck of the day. What is a horse's favorite place to live?
Where?
In a neighborhood.
And now for your weather forecast. Today is expected to be windy with a high of 63 and a low of 43 degrees.
Now we ask you to please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe and have a great 3-day weekend.
Go Braves!
We'll be right back.